today's meeting is about returning to full consciousness, returning home to the unlimited being. Just one moment. Perhaps you could sit a little bit further, just at the back. So tonight is an invitation to return home, to return to the full consciousness, to return to the primordial source, light, emptiness. The source, light, emptiness is beyond any content, is beyond any energy. It is the source of all energy, the source of all existence. Everything appears inside your consciousness. Everything you perceive, everything that you are aware of appears inside your consciousness. Now you will ask, some of you will ask, so what is that consciousness? What is Mindo speaking about? I'm speaking about this present moment, right here, right now. It is completely verifiable, it is completely experiential. It is your awareness of this present moment. This invitation is to return to that awareness of the present moment fully. In this present moment, you are aware that your attention is flowing forward. Your attention is placed either perceiving through your eyes, or listening through your ears, or feeling this present moment. So your attention is placed on the object or the content. And I invite you to return to the subject, to return actually beyond even the Trinity, to return to awareness which is aware already of this present moment, already the way it is. It is such a simple truth that it is completely overlooked. Since the awareness is placed and attention is placed upon objects, it is completely overlooked that something is aware of this present moment. And I invite you to experience to verify and to see the place of seeing. Not what you see, but the place of seeing. To become aware that you are already aware. To become conscious that you are already conscious. Now I will further simplify this. If you would not be conscious, you would be sleeping, laying in your bed. So already experientially we can verify that every one of you is already conscious here and now. That is correct. Every one of you is already aware of this present moment in totality, the way it is. There are many things that you can be aware of, which comes through your 5 sensory perceptions. For example, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, what you hear, are only the things that you're aware of. But you are aware, and the question is, who is aware? Immediately, for some of you, the mind will say, well, that's supposed to be me. That is a contracted I. The contracted individual energy field. It is the mind's contracted energy. The mind's energy which has accumulated, contracted, it has densified, and thus it is lingering in your energy field as a feeling of myself, as a feeling of you, which is very familiar, isn't it? This feeling of myself is very familiar. It is actually old, because this present moment is new and fresh and alive. But the familiar self is old. You already know everything about yourself. You already know all your past, all your history, all your goods, all your bads, all your problems. You know it all. It's old. Now what is new? What is fresh? This present moment is aliveness, is life, is God present, and it is the consciousness in which you exist and perceive everything which is here and now. So we are slowly inquiring, and we could say deconstructing reality, just to verify the fundamental blocks, the fundamental aspects of reality. If we engage with the individual I, which is very contracted and simply flowing in the stream of life, you may spend thousands of years simply flowing wherever life is going. Many incarnations, you can just flow where the river flows. Only when you turn back your attention to inquire into the truth, only then you discover the truth. And that clears the path. It cuts through illusion. It brings you to your real home. So this inquiry, although it seems very simple, maybe not yet fully understood by the mind, but it is very simple inquiry. And the understanding is not so important. I actually invite to leave your understanding at the entrance, to leave your mind at the entrance, like you leave your shoes at the entrance before you come in here, so you can leave your mind at the entrance. Because here I invite your presence, your awareness, your consciousness. And it is not necessary to understand everything that I explain. It is more important to be simply open to inquire and to see and verify if it's true. Understanding is always slow, isn't it? You say, oh, hold on a moment, I need to think. I need to try to understand. It takes time. Understanding takes time. Understanding is a slow process, but inquiry and verification of the truth is immediate. It's immediate and it's completely available. So coming back, we can realize that from our birth we have accumulated our individual sense of myself, which has been programmed by society, by all the systems, all the distorted energy fields. And it is that heaviness, it is that limitation that every person is carrying. There is a saying that there are 7 billion people carrying 7 billion walls, but there is only one earth and one reality. So the individual world is not important and not necessary, because that is the accumulation. So coming to the beginning, that everybody has a sense of myself, a sense of I, which is individual, which is very familiar and actually quite old, we come to ask what is new, what is fresh. It is the present moment which is real and fresh. You see, your breath happens in the present moment only. Yesterday's breath is a memory. Tomorrow's breath is not here yet, it's imagination. So only this breath is real. Only this heartbeat is real. Only this present moment is real. So we come to understand that the real reality is happening right here, right now. You will not find consciousness or God in the future. That is another illusion. You can only find God consciousness here and now, going deeper and deeper into the here and now. Because the past and future is just a stream of the mind, a stream of life, a stream of the mind. So we come to understand that reality is here and now, and it can only be verified to be real here and now. What was yesterday is a memory. What will be tomorrow is not here yet, and you cannot eat tomorrow's dinner, nor you can breathe tomorrow's breath. So only now is real. So coming deeper into this now, we come to understand that we are aware of this now. It is not important what is happening in the now. You know, many times we're waiting for the perfect circumstances. We're waiting for all the perfect alignments so that we can do something. No, you don't need to wait for anything, because where else will you find truth if not here and now? So in your awareness, it is not important what is happening now. It is not important what you are aware of. The awareness of something, the actual awareness, is the key. The actual awareness is the master key. It is neither a state of being. You know, sometimes we want to feel good. For awareness, it doesn't matter. Of course, we as individuals prefer to feel good, but for awareness, it doesn't matter. If you want to find freedom, you have to go deeper. So, inquiring into awareness, we come to realize that the awareness itself is not dependent upon appearances. The awareness itself is not dependent upon what is happening. And that, only that, can be a huge realization of freedom. As I'm speaking, something deeper is listening inside you. Understanding is not important. So the awareness of this present moment is the master key. It's the key that will unlock your freedom. And we remove all dependencies of waiting for the perfect moment, of waiting for the alignment of the stars and moons. You don't need to wait. There's no time. Time does not exist. Circumstances are not important. To find the truth, you can only need to go here and now into this present moment. That is the invitation into the reality, truth, consciousness, here and now. So awareness is the master key. And how do we use it? How do we start to use this master key? First is by recognizing, confirming that it exists. So we can immediately confirm, every one of you, just stop for a moment and confirm that you are aware already of this present moment the way it is. Yes, that is true. Everybody agrees on this. Yes, we are aware of this present moment. And the second confirmation is that yes, we are conscious of this present moment. That is the second confirmation, which further awakens that master key. Now, you can try to remain in that moment of stopping. You can try to remain in that moment where everything stops, everything is quiet, and you simply confirm, I'm aware, I'm conscious. Immediately you're home. Maybe your mind does not understand it yet, or you don't see the value yet, but immediately you're home. You're looking for a feeling of home, which is a familiar feeling, which is a comfortable feeling. That will be revealed more and more later on as that awareness will grow and integrate into your conscious reality. So awareness consciousness is master key. we can verify very simply that it's true, correct, it's real. We can try to remain longer in that recognition, not even realizing the value or the meaning of it. Your mind will catch up, don't worry. Your mind will catch up. As much time as it needs, it will catch up. But that is the master key. Now, when you feel that the energy is accumulating inside you, that it's becoming too hot, too intense, too bright, that you cannot sustain yourself anymore, or something is burning, or you have to move, it's where the energy starts to get compressed. So then, let it flow. Let it flow. You don't need to block it, you don't need to try to persist it. Let it flow. Whatever was compressing or building of intensity, let that flow. Because it might be emotional energy. It might be any kind of higher vibrational energy. It might be the mind's energy. There are millions of different kinds of energies. Millions of different kinds of energies. So when they start accumulating and you feel that it's becoming very intense, let it flow. Let it flow, be open, and again remember that your home is awareness aware and you are already conscious. Now, what will happen over time that you know where your real home is? Your mind will start to find and seek for understanding. So you can watch more videos, you can read more books, you can fill in all the gaps of your mind. That is not my true concern, although there are many videos that you can watch on YouTube where I explain much more about that. But my true invitation is home, to cut through all the energies, all the mind, all the dimensions, all the places of the universe in different states of being, to cut all through all of that and go right home. So over time your mind will fill the gaps, will find the answers of what that means, of why is it really true, of further verifications that yes, that is the ultimate existence, that is the ultimate reality, the awareness aware and consciousness conscious. One big obstacle is the I, is the sense of myself, which is the ego, and which is all kinds of limitations. So these are the obstacles that need to be cleared. Yes, you need to find solutions to your problems, and sometimes you need to have some help to overcome these problems. So the obstacle is the sense of I, which is a distorted energy field that everybody is carrying. I can see it visually in every person, the individual mind's energy, which is a condensed, compressed belief systems, all kinds of subconscious conditionings, which in the past was named as karma, but that's the old concept. But we simply need to realize that these are distortions of the energy fields that every person is carrying right on their shoulders, on their head. So we will also find healing practices, purification practices, and how to overcome these obstacles. That is the part of removing the suffering, of removing the limitations, of deconditioning and cleansing the karma as the old concept, but it's just simply energetic distortion. So purifying our energy fields, our personal energetics, so that we bridge the gap between awareness consciousness and your experiential reality. Every moment experiential reality. So awareness consciousness is here, but it's, you may say, high up, and your energy field is resonating at a much lower vibration, which needs to be cleansed, purified, balanced, so that you bridge the gap. So that you bridge the gap between awareness consciousness and very high intense vibration light, which is the source, and your experiential feeling, understanding, conscious being reality. So these are the fundamentals of reality. The fundamentals of reality. Knowing this bit, you have the ABC of reality. You have the fundamental knowledge of what actually is, what actually exists, and how everything works, how the energy works. Of course, now every aspect is a workshop or a seminar in itself to speak about energetics, the vortex of life, the cycles of completions. These are the subjects of an hour, 2 hours or more in themselves, to go deeper into how they function. But for this meeting, it is vital to have the fundamental seeing, understanding, remembering the fundamental knowledge of reality. And today's satsang, today's meeting is about returning to the full consciousness. So what is the full consciousness? Is it something privileged? Is it something only for the very few, for the elites or for the gurus? No. No, that is all not correct. Full consciousness is your birthright. Full consciousness is what you were born with, is who you are, is your birthright. You were already a fully conscious being. You came down and you are returning back. It is not something new. It is something who you already are, who you have been in many past lives. Well, perhaps not on this earth, because this earth is distorted. But this is where you are coming back to your own real, natural state, own natural way of being. So full consciousness is basically removing any inner limitations and being completely open, completely free, completely alive, completely here and now, completely present, completely with this moment the way it is. It is so natural, the full consciousness is so natural that it is the most natural thing in the universe. It is as natural as breathing, as natural as feeling your heartbeat. It is unnatural to be in the limited mind. It is not unnatural to be confused, worried, doubtful, fearful, agitated. it is unnatural. These are called the diseases of the mind. And we need to realize that full consciousness, or the old term enlightenment, is not something that you don't have. It is your natural state. Because it is unnatural to be in confusion, worries and doubts. And any distorted feelings of anxieties, depressions, irritations, frustrations, and all these emotional, mental difficulties. So again, I'm inviting you back to who you really are. Is nothing new. So that is another big illusion breaker. Because we imagined, that enlightenment is only for people in India and it's only like this or only like that. No, it's for you to be fully free, open the way you are. And if you are a good musician, you can be fully conscious musician. If you're a good dancer, you can be a fully conscious dancer. If you're IT geek, you can be a fully conscious IT geek. If you're a chef, you can be a fully conscious chef. So again, it is not becoming a guru, a teacher, and whatever. It is you being who you truly are without any limitations. So let's remove that illusion too. Because there was a programming as well by religions, unconsciously, to put enlightenment, full consciousness only for the few privileged ones, at the very, very top. That is another structure, pyramid, another way of controlling. Let's remove that. That's another old system. So we come to realize, wow, this is so amazing. What he is saying is that you actually have it. That you are actually healing the diseases of the mind, emotions, and energetic distortions. That there is nothing limiting you apart from your own mental, emotional, energetic problems. There is nothing else limiting you. There is no karma and what's so not, preventing you from something. Nothing is limiting you. So you have it, it's yours, it's your birthright, and now it's time to come back, to return everybody to your full consciousness. Now, what are the ways? We already discussed the fundamentals of reality. The fast track to returning home is the full consciousness transmission, whereby we transmit myself with the higher beings, we transmit that, or we amplify that full consciousness here and now so that everybody can sense it, that it's completely natural. So it's this transmission is amplification of that highest vibration source, emptiness, consciousness, so that everybody can recognize it, so that everybody can attune to it. So during the full consciousness transmission, your energetic system, which are your chakras, your crown, your nervous system, starts to recognize the truth, starts to recognize that natural harmonic energy. And automatically, naturally, there happens a healing, a very deep healing, the deepest healing. So the full consciousness transmission is a highway because that is amplification of the source, consciousness and energy for your own body system to recognize it. That is the fast track. And then there's a second part of the healing process, of completions of your cycles, your energetic cycles, so that you bridge that gap. So my responsibility, we may say so, is to amplify it. It's to transmit that source energy so that you cut through and directly experience it. And then what does take some time is to bridge that gap, is to bridge that vortex, that energetic gap, so that you fully match that higher vibration in your normal way of being. So this is how we return to the full consciousness. There is the fundamental knowledge of the truth, there is the full consciousness transmission, and then what does take some time is completion of our purification, of healing the mind, the emotional body, and the energetic distortions, so that we permanently experience happiness, love, peace, bliss. So now we will slowly prepare for our meditation and energy transmission. And the only thing you need to do is to be completely open, completely relaxed, completely open to receive the higher vibrational light and energy, without any imaginations. It's so natural. The only real confirmation is naturalness. So now it will be a guided practice, and I will amplify and transmit this energy so that everybody can experience it. And afterwards we will have some time for questions, answers, and individual blessings. So make sure you're comfortable. And you can gently close your eyes. And bring your attention to your breath. Your breath is already here, is already natural. You can feel that there is more space around your breath. To feel the openness. And to feel that there is a lot of brightness all around you. It is the bright light which is already above and which is slowly coming down into your crowns, This light coming into your head, your brain, as the white, blue, electric light. And coming down your spine, this white, blue, electric light. Simply allowing to receive allowing your spine, your brain, your chakras to recognize this brightness, this high vibration. There is nothing to do. You can always come to your breath, to the space around your breath. To allow your spine to attune to that white, blue, electric light, so that every cell, every atom recognizes, activates, becomes filled with light. Surrendering to this gift of grace. Simply allowing yourself to receive, to recognize, to stay with this natural, high vibrational consciousness without any limitation. Remembering the that you are aware of your experience, that you are conscious of your experience. That there is nowhere to go, only to recognize here and now. Letting go of anything of the lower vibrations, softening your energy, your heart, just a few moments to integrate you can slowly start returning, remembering your awareness of this experience, remembering the brightness. As you come back very slowly to be aware of your transitioning back to this present moment. As you return, you can expand further your awareness of noticing every energy, every aspect as you are returning. Tonight we had the grace of Mahavatar Babaji showering us with this high vibrational consciousness, which is like a lightning, electrical, high energy. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to understand. Only to verify your own awareness, your own recognition that you are conscious. So when you're ready, you can slowly start returning will slowly open the questions and answers. Also, if you would like to share your experience. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. Okay, would you like to share?
That was extremely strong. It was so strong my body couldn't be still. So I don't think I could handle it. It's just very nice.
Gradually, your body aligns and attunes. If something is moving, it's fine. Let it move. And slowly your spine, your kundalini, your chakras, they align. And as they align, they become more still and more deeper. But if they move, that is also fine, because that movement is necessary. So just allowing your body to be natural as well.
It will take a few weeks to integrate this.
It might take some time to unpack all the gifts. This energy can be felt very strong for the next couple of days, and it can take even a couple of weeks until it's fully processed through your energetic system. Okay. Someone else to share? Mm-hmm.
This notion arose in me, and it could be the question of the ego, that being immersed in such grace, and is it just a question of grace, where when we'll stop finally needing Shaktipat in order to cleanse from conditioning? Or is it just an individual path and we'll never know?
Grace, there is always grace. There is always grace. If you think you did it, it's still through grace. So any transitioning into higher consciousness always comes through grace. External grace or internal grace. So that is number one. Sometimes we don't recognize it, but there is always someone with us who guides us, who assists and who lifts us up. The attunement and then the purification requires some effort and some practice and some work. Some practice, some work to be done. So the purificational practices, they need to be done on your part so that you cleanse, purify your energy system, so that you are able to sustain that grace. You see, even during a day, your vibration shifts thousands of times. Actually, your vibration is shifting every millisecond. Your vibrational field is shifting. But generally speaking, during the day you have a few major shifts. You may feel very positive in the morning, in the afternoon you may have a trouble, in the evening you may be fine again. So your vibration shifts throughout the day, but every time you complete a cycle of purification, then you permanently raise your vibrational level and you integrate higher consciousness in a permanent way. And this is where the map of spirituality is and explains every step of these levels of consciousness. So purification practices, they are practices and they need to be done so that you can sustain permanently these higher states of consciousness, and so that you don't fall into the lower states so easily, and so that you know how to get out of the lower states very quickly, and so that you have it's the art of freedom. You know, at first you need to do a lot of practices, then it becomes easier and easier and more natural, more automatic. And when you reach full consciousness, freedom is always there, but you simply need to keep your body in harmony, just to keep your body in balance. So the energetic part, yes, it is the art of purification, the art of energetics, of balance and harmony. You see, we live in a society where literally everything is distorted. And when you are in your balance, then you, on a positive note, you actually balance the environment around you. So when you reach the consciousness of presence or above, you automatically, naturally balance the environment around you. You know, even sitting in a cafe, you know, I can already open some people's chakras and remove some stuff from the energy fields, you know, like everyone who is in my awareness in that moment is being harmonized and balanced. So the beauty of presence and stepping into higher states of consciousness, that it becomes automatic. Then you don't have to do anything because your field already harmonizes all environment around you. Yes? Your experience?
That was strong. That's the worst because it was soft, like it wasn't like a violent kind of strong, but definitely it was hard to stay put. And I was trying to like handle it, but then I said like, forget it, you know?
Yes.
And interestingly, I just kept hearing Shiva in my head.
Yes. Mahavatar Babaji is Shiva.
Shiva.
Yes.
Constantly like Shiva. Like, so I was just like, yeah.
The full consciousness is also called Shiva consciousness or Krishna consciousness. In the history of humanity, Shiva or Krishna is the same being, Mahavatar Babaji. And he appears and disappears many times physically, and of course he is in a higher realm, can easily appear or disappear at his will. And his grace is increasing, his presence in the world is increasing. As the energy of the planet is raising, and as the energy of humanity consciousness is rising, more and more their energy, their presence will increase. Because again, we are bridging the gap of the lower state to the higher state, and thus we can meet more easily the higher beings. And thus we can receive their energy a lot easier. So Shiva is it's a very beautiful in Hinduism that they have so many beautiful songs about Shiva, about Krishna. It's the same being, and there are many other great beings and gods known in the history, avatars who have assisted humanity in a very, very large extent. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I really felt that transmission when we started. And I just, it just seemed to flow right through my head and down my spine. My hands became really started pulsating.
Yes.
There was something alive in my hands, like very magnetic.
Yes.
But then it was all flowing and lovely. But then it stopped in my heart, and it got quite intense. There was like a roadblock there or something breaking, which felt quite painful, to be honest. So I just stayed with it and breathed around it.
Yes.
Stayed with it a bit longer, as long as I could.
Yes.
It's kind of worn off now, that intensity, but broken.
Yes. And what happens when something breaks? Something new, bigger opens. What is breaking is the old beliefs, the old energies that you were holding onto. Yes. So there are deeper places of the heart. A heartbreak is opening into a bigger heart, and a bigger heart, and a bigger heart, and into the absolute heart. We actually have the 12 states, a beautiful diagram of Leon, the 12 states of the heart, where we realize that the heart just breaks up or breaks open deeper and deeper.
That's what it felt like.
And sometimes we hold on to something which we hold dearly. It can be positive, it can be negative, but holding on to something is still attachment. And when we receive a higher energy, higher consciousness, we let go, we surrender.
Yeah, I tried not to get into my mind, I just stayed with it and breathed around it. And it got more and more intense. But then it kind of like it broke and it got lighter.
Yes. And it can feel very naked, broken naked. But that is a very beautiful feeling because it's so open. There's no protection. It is so open, so here, so now. There is no protection, there is no layer, there is no wall, there is no holding.
Yeah, it felt like the body was flowing, but then when it got to the heart,
Yes.
it stayed.
You may be centered in the heart, and in reality there is no center, because consciousness is absolute, it's everywhere. Your heart is the personal center of this body energy system, but you're opening to something much greater than this person body system.
Yeah, I can feel like my chakras here, like really pleasant.
Yes.
Like nice feeling.
Yes.
Very pleasant. And the intensity is gone.
Yes.
Something shifted.
And just to soften, to soften. If something becomes very intense and hard, then you can soften it. So softening is also a beautiful practice. Okay?
Okay, so
listening to the others, now I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's talking about intensity, and my experience was very different.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I felt the most was like my hands becoming like very, very full of energy, almost like when one gives Reiki to someone, very, very strong and a very calm and gentle feeling.
Yes,
So opposite
yes.
of intense, very
Yes.
soft, and my body just disappeared.
Yes, yes.
I had no body. I just was. I don't know
Yes, just
where I was.
disappearing,
Yeah,
disappearing,
it disappeared.
but still
It
aware.
disappeared. And then there were 3 moments where I caught my mind
Mm-hmm.
interfering.
Yes.
And in that moment, I first followed the thought a little while, and then became aware of the thought, and then just came back to present.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it 3 times. And then when you said to come back, I feel so hard to move my fingers to even get a sense that I'm inside the body. And that was my experience.
Yes. Now, an open question to everyone. During your experience, who was aware that you are aware? Who was remaining conscious of the experience? Yes, some people are nodding their head. So sometimes you may also get into the experience. Now, this is a transmission, so it's already healing in itself, no matter where your mind goes. But even more, if you remember that you are aware during that experience, you will further go deeper. It will further root. So in any practice, in any meditation, always, even in the midst of your deepest experience, try to remember to verify that you are aware of that experience. Because many times people will come to a deep space, a space of cosmic space, a space of beingness, a space of nothingness, and they may stay there, and the inquiry goes further to verify if they are aware of that space, nothingness, emptiness. And the answer is yes. And that automatically means that awareness is even deeper, is even more fundamental than the infinite space, a space of being. Another way of explaining it astronomically or cosmically is that awareness, consciousness is the source of the universe, and the space is it is still not the deepest truth, because there is a source, awareness, consciousness, from where the space came. Just excuse. And is it still transmitting? Okay. We have a live audience broadcasting tonight. People joining from different parts of the world. So space or distance is still relative because it also appears in awareness. So you may have so many different experiences. Some may feel very intensely, some may feel completely relaxing, disappearing. There can be so many different ways you can feel, but it's the same energy, the same consciousness being transmitted, and the same awareness, consciousness in which you recognize your experience. So in reality, nothing is really happening. It's only awareness aware, consciousness conscious, and only the pictures are changing, the energies are changing, which is relative, In the absolute reality, awareness is bright, bliss, freedom, happiness. These are qualities, by the way. The peace, love, happiness, freedom, even bliss are the qualities of the source, awareness, consciousness. And you will resonate with your particular qualities. Some of you are naturally more peaceful, some of you are naturally more joyous, some of you are naturally more focused in the heart, or some of you more focused in the mind. But that transforms into a higher state of being through your unique expression. So your body, your energy system is a unique expression. And that which is natural to you becomes even more higher vibrational. And that which was unnatural to you drops down because it was never really yours. So doubts, worries, anxieties, they drop down because they're not yours, they're not natural. And your natural qualities, they amplify and they further come to the surface. I would say that one of the key qualities is bliss, which always remains, and other qualities of love, of happiness, of peace, they flow. They flow depending on the present moment. But bliss is that light, the intensity of that light. So these are the most natural qualities. And then, according to your body, you will feel that much more, which is natural to you. Any more questions? Yes?
I wanted to ask you, what is a unit of consciousness?
What is?
A unit of consciousness.
Unit of consciousness. What do you mean by unit? How do you measure it? Is that your question?
Yeah.
So these are the levels of consciousness. The levels...
So, okay. I got it now. How do you define one level of consciousness? If you take the map of spirituality.
Yes.
How do you...
We may say it's a degree, the degree of openness, the degree of purification, and that is the expansion of consciousness is not linear, is not 100 is twice less than 200. It is actually 10 times 100 or 200 or 300. Because consciousness expands exponentially. From a very limited personal consciousness, it expands to a higher self, which has a broad picture of all the past lives, present, and the foreseeable future, then the consciousness expands from the individual higher self to the planetary self, to the cosmic self, which is the whole galaxy. It expands to the whole universe, and it expands beyond universe into the source of all universes. So consciousness expands not step by step, 10, 20, 50 or 100. It expands like this into complete source infinity. The infinity is the source as the source of all, including the infinity itself. So the unit is what we measure as the level of consciousness, and 100 is actually 10 square 100 or square 200, meaning that that is the degree of openness, and 1000 implying that that is the source consciousness. Just like how do you, some people measure weight in kilograms or in pounds. It's the same thing, it's just different way of seeing it. So the units of measurement are a convenience of clarification or understanding. Even time does not exist 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's only how humans measure time. It's just a measurement, but time in itself, it has no measurement as such. Because in reality, time is now, including all past, all future. Everything exists now, all pasts, all futures, all different time, they all exist right now. So what we measure is just for the sake of convenience, of very basic understanding of reality. Okay, one more.
So, in essence, everything we measure is just
a label.
So, if you take the scientific well,
it's like labeling everything and trying to make sense of it. Yes.
Yeah.
It has its use.
Yes. Make it easier.
Yes. But if another being would arrive to Earth, and he would say, what are these measurements? What are you measuring? He would say, we measure things different in pounds. We measure things in feet. It's a collective agreement of how to measure reality. Different languages, yes, even that. Yeah, so these are just different labels of how we agree to see things. When it comes to reality, there is no labeling. It is just seeing what is, as the light, the clear light, and the energy, vibrations and frequencies which create the appearing realities in multiple dimensions, which are simply different degrees of densities of the light. Even the light is split into 7 colors and more colors, and then they're densified into the physical matter. So that is how reality is truly perceived. And when you rest in full consciousness, there's no label. You may still use words and labels for the sake of understanding of others, but there's no labeling within you, because you just see as it is.
When you say you should be aware of being in that kind of
experience, yes.
I wonder sometimes if I get it right or I misunderstood everything. Is it possible to kind of misunderstand the awareness of the experience with a thought about the experience.
With a
thought
about experience.
Here it is.
If you recognize their experience and immediately you said, there it is, you just put a label on it, there it is. It should be yes. There it is. If you open the application, yes.
Is this one?
No, it's yeah, okay. It's fine. It's a little technical fun stuff. Yeah, so coming back to, you recognized that I'm aware of experience, and your mind immediately intercepted that recognition by saying, there it is.
Yeah, that's what I said now.
Yes.
Just the notion of seeing it, is that a mini micro energy thought? Because it's not an obvious, there it is, I'm not doing that. But seeing it,
Yes.
kind of can be perceived as, is that the minimal sublime thought in the mind hijacking everything else?
If your mind told you there it is, that is a little input of the mind. But before that, as a millisecond before that, you recognize, oh, I'm aware of my experience. So that was the truth, and the mind just jumped in to say the little word, little thought. If you don't touch that thought and further, go with that thought, then you will not be in the mind. If you touch it and, okay, what does that mean? Well, you'll go back into the mind. So staying with experience is more important than understanding the experience, because understanding will come later. Mind needs time. Okay.
You were saying before that songs that you said together will automatically harmonize the environment around you. I'm not clear about this other question, which is what happens when it is working the other way around? It's putting light on certain darkness. Does this happen?
Yes, as well, yes. So the more intense is your light, connectedness with the source, the more intensely you will harmonize the environment, and you will shine the light onto the darkness, whether inside or onto anywhere else.
And how best to handle this situation?
There is no answer to this, because you have to be present in that moment to see what is best in that moment.
As in, what can support you best not to be carried away with this?
Oh, to come back to your center, we could say, of staying grounded, rooted, present, and aware, conscious. If it carries you away, that's something else carrying you away. That's what I call the spiritual weather. The spiritual weather. So you need to be like that tree, and the spiritual weather, it comes and goes. Or when you get to the top of the mountain, well, stay there, don't run back, don't fall back.
So the mind doesn't want that situation, you don't want
Yes.
resisting it.
But when you will learn 100 times to climb up the same mountain, you will learn how to stay there fully.
when you said, and many of them said, that there's nothing really happening here. So from the viewpoint of consciousness, when is that point where there's nothing to recognize it really, but when it becomes clear that beingness, let's say beingness, consciousness happens in the beingness right now.
No,
Is it not so? Like
beingness happens in the consciousness.
In the consciousness.
Yes, yes.
But when do I recognize that beingness itself is a complete concept?
I wouldn't follow any concepts. If you feel the sense of beingness here and now, let's not focus on understanding, let's focus on experience. If you feel your beingness now, and you can now verify that you are aware of your beingness, so that is the truth. So beingness is within the awareness, and awareness is prior to the beingness. But you can still remain in the beingness because that might be your vibrational attunement. And then you work to further purify and harmonize your energies to match the awareness.
And then beingness is then transformed.
Then beingness transforms into the freedom of awareness. Anything that you become fully aware of starts to transform and starts raising vibration into a new, higher state of being, which may be awareness itself. Okay.
Master, I think in order to understand these concepts, you must first feel them, because
Yes.
even to describe it is very hard.
Yes.
It's beyond words. You can't say that consciousness is, for example, a particle or a field. You have to feel it.
Of course. But no matter where you are, you can, it may take a long time to get the meaning and the full understanding. But it takes no time to confirm that you are aware right now of yourself and this experience, this present moment. That takes no time. Now, to fully understand what is happening here and now, that will take as much time as your mind needs. And you can read more books, you can watch more videos, you can gain more knowledge from all your available sources to gain more understanding of the experiential reality. Okay. So, since we extended the question parts, let's conclude our tonight's meeting, and I will give some space for the individual blessings for those who would wish to receive, and that will take much longer tonight. But let's conclude our general meeting, our satsang, and just a few announcements that we meet every Tuesday. Now we're back here, and Leon has her program as well of yoga classes, Shakti dance, which you can ask her at the end. So I thank you all. Namaste. It was a very beautiful meeting with a really, really really, really high vibrational energy.